Yo guys, what's going on? It's your man Unstoppable Goose, and welcome back to what seems like forever, but another YouTube video. Now in this one, this isn't really as much of a live gameplay or anything like that. This is just more of a voiceover, and I'm gonna start talking about, what's gonna be going on in the future here, what's been going on in the past, why I haven't uploaded in God knows how long. But yeah, I mean, let's really just jump into it. I got a few things that I really want to talk about. And I'm going to try my best to just kind of wing it. So without further ado, you guys can just enjoy the gameplay that I've put in the background. We're going to start it off here with some Rainbow Six. As you guys can probably see, I am playing as Lesion with the brand new Blood Orchid DLC, following the Operation Health, not really DLC, but kind of patches, if that's what you really call it. And that actually brings us to our first topic of the day, actually. So my first topic is really going to be how I felt about Operation Health as a whole. As a whole, Operation Health, in my opinion, was the right step. It is what Ubisoft needed to take in order to make their pretty good game flawless. It still isn't flawless, obviously. Obviously, there are still a good amount of glitches and whatnot in the game, but they needed to take the step to be able to make the game better, more polished, like I said. Operation Health, however, did not do that for me personally, and other people are going to have other opinions. It's your opinion. This is, again, my opinion. Operation Health did not do it for me. All Operation Health was an excuse for Ubisoft to take 3 more months to drop us any operators. Now, yes, people are going to say, well, wait, you got 3 operators instead of just 2. I know that. Those 3 operators are dope, by the way, but we're going to get that in a second here. Operation Health was designed to bring us patches over the course of 3 months. Now, we saw, at least the community, the open community, only saw, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, 2 or 3 big patches. I was expecting a little bit more when it came out of the patch department. I was expecting, come out with a glitch patch kind of thing every week, every 2 weeks. No, they came out with 2. That was kind of disappointing for me. The gameplay during Operation Health, kind of switching gears here, got very, very, very stale, and I know a lot of my friends here will also back me up on that one, that the gameplay was very stale, especially like the last month of Operation Health. You go in, you choose your operator in the prep phase, and you just don't know what to do. You haven't had a new map, you haven't had new operators, it's just very stale and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to play, you don't know what strat to do, whatever. You just kind of end up messing around in casual, and while yes, that is still a lot of fun, it is not what I wanted to see for Rainbow Six. Now, that's kind of how I felt about Operation Health. Overall, Operation Health was a little lackluster if you ask me, but again, like I said in the beginning, it is what needed to happen, and I don't think anybody can really argue that. Moving on, however, Operation Blood Orchid. I am very, very excited for this operation. Oh my gosh, I have never been this excited for new operators pretty much since the game came out. And now, I've actually owned the game since the game actually very first came out, but I didn't play it for pretty much the first year. And I didn't play it until like year 2 started, and when I did that, I automatically fell in love with the game. I really didn't start Rainbow Six Siege until Infinite Warfare dropped, and after about, honestly, 1 or 2 days of Infinite Warfare, I had had enough, and I wanted to play a game that was a little bit more consistent, more kind of my play, even though at the time my play style was just kind of run and gun and shoot. Kind of Call of Duty-esque. However, ever since I discovered Rainbow Six, I kind of fell in love with the tactical aspect of it. But I'm getting off track here. Operation Blood Orchid. Like I said, you saw the Lesion gameplay earlier. That was a Lesion ace. It's actually my first ace on Blood Orchid, especially with a Blood Orchid operator. I've had a couple of really, really nice, like 2 or 3 Ks with like Ella. And I haven't quite figured out Ying quite yet. She's a little bit harder to use, a little bit harder to learn. But I think once people figure out how she really works, she's really, really going to be the meta. But until then, I'm really enjoying Lesion and Ella, and I think you should all go out and buy those 2 operators with either Renown or Rainbow Six points. I mainly stress that a lot because of the likeliness that Ella and Legion are definitely going to get nerfed hardcore. But yeah, overall, I think that Legion's gun, I think his gun is really, really nice. I honestly think it's balanced. The rate of fire is nice, but at the same time, there's a decent amount of recoil that you have to pay attention to. It doesn't hit like a truck, but it doesn't hit like your average smart car. I don't know what I'm saying. But it's a balanced overall gun. His gadgets, however, I think are going to take a little bit getting used to. I think as time moves on, Legion might get played less and less, and you might not have to worry about the goo mines everywhere every single round. But just because he's brand new, they're everywhere, and they're kind of hard to avoid at the moment, seeing as they are invisible. IQ obviously being the direct counter to him, and it is very effective. Again, I personally think that IQ needs a bit of a buff. I think that IQ needs a bit of a buff, like I just said. But I think she needs, in my opinion, she needs a visor just like Jackal. Now, if you go in and watch IQ's, if you go in and watch her operator video, she is depicted as the smart operator. She's clever, she's cool, she's overall just smart. Now, if you really want to look at it from that point of view, then if she's so smart, why doesn't she upgrade herself and give her a visor? The reason I think she needs a visor is because when you have 3 speeds with a Scorpion, like Ella has, you can't be running around searching for Ella Mine, Goo Mines, Black Eyes, whatever. You can't have any of that. You can't have 3 speeds running at you while you have a pistol out. You know what I mean? I think Ubisoft needs to make it so you can have IQ's gadget out and searching for targets while you still have your primary weapon. Because when the 3-speed Bandit, Jaeger, Pulse, Ella come running at you, there's nothing you can do with a pistol. Moving on, however, more about the operators themselves. Like I said, Legion, I think he's overall balanced. I think his goo mines might get nerfed in terms of the fact how much damage they do, and as well as how much damage they do per, I think it's like 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds or something like that. I might think they might extend that a little bit. Moving on to Ella, however, I think her gun is way overpowered, in my opinion. Yes, it has a decent amount of recoil to it, but if you put a grip and a compensator on there like I have, unfortunately I don't have a lot of video footage for Ella. If you put a compensator and whatnot on there, then you will be all set, and that recoil really won't affect you that much, and you can just kind of spray and pray and hope to get the body shots and the headshots, because even if you're getting body shots, that gun just spits rounds so fast, so far and so fast down range that it doesn't matter, and whoever you're shooting at is dead within half a second. And they really don't have, unless they get a really quick headshot on you, there's really nothing they can do. So I think Ella's gun is going to get nerfed hardcore, whether they reduce the rate of fire, or if they reduce the amount of bullets. I don't know how Ubisoft will go about it, or even if they will touch it at all. Overall, I think her gadget is well balanced, actually, now that I think about it. I think, again, IQ being the direct counter to her, I think that IQ, it's a little hard to, for those of you that have actually tried to take out Ella mines, it's actually hard to, as an IQ person, to take them out, mainly because if you're a good Ella player, then you will put them above doorways or something like that, and even when you're laying down trying to shoot them with IQ, you can't get them, and you have to waste like a nade or something like that to get rid of them, or just use a shield to brute force your way through. But yeah, overall, that is Ella. I think she might get nerfed. Overall, I think she's a decent operator as well. Ying, however, is a different story. I haven't quite figured out how to use Ying yet. I've used her in I've got a good amount of multiplayer footage, but as well as a lot of just, messing around in Terrorist Hunt, getting used to the gun, getting used to the gadget. Her Candelas, it's a very good idea, but to have Ubisoft think about new gadgets, new operators for 6 months, give or take a few days, 6 months, and they come up with a glorified flashbang, I think that's a little bit lame, honestly. Don't get me wrong, I love Ying. She's really, really cool. Really good idea, but in the end, she's a glorified flashbang, and it's really not that cool. the fact that she's not affected by her flashbang is, yeah, that's pretty cool. But oftentimes, whenever I try to rush a area or something like that, guess what? I get hit by a goo or a Gersmot mine, and there's nothing I can really do, and I'm dead before I even enter the room. Her gun has a ton of recoil. I really hope that gets reduced. And her rate of fire is absolutely crazy. With 81 bullets, you can pre-fire it for about an hour before you run out of bullets. So that's my opinion on Blood Orchid. That's my opinion on the 3 operators. I think Ubisoft is taking a step in the right direction. I just hope that for the rest of the season they definitely listen to the rest of their community. I'm also really excited to see what the Pro League has to do with the 3 new operators, because we all know that those Pro League players take the new operators to a whole nother level. Without further ado, let's actually switch gears again, and we're actually going to talk about the World War II beta here, as you guys are probably going to see, or if you haven't seen already. I switched the gameplay over to some World War II, and I love that game. Don't get me wrong. The beta, I wished it lasted a little bit longer. Back when I played the Black Ops 3 beta, as well as the Infinite Warfare beta, I believe they both lasted a week, and it kind of confused me on why this one only lasted. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it was 5 days, 4 maybe, 4 or 5, something like that. Yeah, it was from Thursday to Monday, so yeah, 5 days. Unfortunately, I played it only for about 4 days, but when I did play it, I was maxed rank. I played the heck out of it. I actually played it so much that it gave myself a cold, and that cold, that I don't know if you've been able to tell, but it's still lingering right now in my head. All I have right now is just a stuffy nose. But other than that, I played it so much that I gave myself a cold. But the World War II beta was amazing, don't get me wrong. I loved it. I played the heck out of it. A lot of my friends will probably, again, tell you, if you were to ask them, that they love the beta as well. Not a lot of them are as much as a vivid COD player as I am. Of course, I haven't played in a long time, but like I said earlier, my kind of play style is at heart a run and gun, rip people's heads off kind of player. That's why when I first started switching over to Rainbow, for the first 50 levels or so, I had a really, really hard time. But as soon as I switched back to World War II, you put on the basic training called Hustle, where you can just reload, you sprint faster, you choose the airborne infantry, you sprint for longer distances, and I'm just running around like a crazy person, and kind of like an Ash main. But the main guns that you'll probably see me use were, I forget what the sniper was called, was it the Commonwealth, which you see, I think, one clip with, as well as the, the PPSH, the Type 100, the Waffy. They were all really good guns, and I like the fact that you can put a suppressor on mid-game. That is something that's really cool and brand new to Call of Duty, and I think that's something that will play a big role, again, when Pro League rolls around. But other than that, like I keep saying, the beta was overall really, really nice. I just really hope that they don't mess it up when the game drops in November. But other than that, there's really not a lot to say about it, honestly. The game was just overall, the beta was just overall really good, and I just really hope that they don't mess it up in November. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end it out here. We're kind of reaching the limit of how long I wanted this video to be. So make sure to check out all the links down in the description. Like if you're new around here, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on anything. I am going to start streaming more, so definitely check out that link down in the description, and my Twitter, because I tweet and rant a lot about Ubisoft. Do you guys want to see some of that? But yeah, anyway, guys, this has been Unstoppable Goose, and peace out.
Recon airborne, searching for targets. Fighter aircraft approaching target.
Care package on the way. Protect the drop zone.